Today's lash set is inspired by one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies, and that is The Grinch. My model Yzabelle is the perfect candidate for this look because, just like the Grinch, her eyes naturally have that upturned swoop, which means she's the perfect candidate for creating a true cat eye look. For today's set, I will be diving into our rainbow volume lash trays, and this is actually my first time ever working with handmade colored volume. So I'll be sharing some of my tips and tricks that I learned along the way, as well as some things that I think I can improve on for next time. It would mean the world to us if you would like this video and subscribe, and if you're feeling festive, drop a Christmas tree emoji down below. So let's check out Yzabelle's eye shape. When Yzabelle sent me these photos, I was so excited because the first thing I noticed was that her eyes are naturally upturned. If you were to draw a line from her inner corner to her outer corner, you can see that her eye shape tilts upward, which is a dream for every artist to work on because you don't really have to worry about drooping the eye downwards because the eye naturally sits higher. So if you were to place your longer lengths on the outer corners, they would sit higher up. So of course I had to take advantage of her eye shape and do a true cat eye mapping on her. Also, let's take a look at all the space she has between her lash line and her eyebrows. We have so much room to play around with longer lengths, so we're not limited there either. My vision for this Grinch-inspired set was to use a mix of wide and narrow stem fans in the dark green shade from our colored volume palette and place those on the bottom layer only. Because I want the green to be as vibrant as possible, I used narrow fans for density and wide fans to offer coverage. Using a mix of wide and narrow stem fans go hand in hand beautifully for creating a dramatic result when working with color or dark lashes. For the dark green lashes on the bottom layer, I started with 8mm on the inner corner and then bumped up to 14mm on the outer corner, which may seem pretty long, but because they are placed on the bottom layer, it will look much shorter. And for my top layer, I'm going to work with our mid-stem mega volume pre-fans in 10 and 12D. I bumped my lengths up by 1mm, but because the top layer sits higher, it will look like they're 4mm longer than the green lashes. So I worked with a 9mm on the inner corner up to 15mm on the outer corner. So even though I'm only bumping my lengths up by 1mm, it's going to look like a huge jump between the bottom layer and the top layer. So to create a darker base and blend the layers together, I bump my lengths down for the middle layer, starting with 7mm to 13mm. So that is my plan going into the set. Now let's have some fun creating it. I began my set on the bottom layer first because 1, it will be the most time consuming, and 2, the bottom layer is the most important, especially for this set because if we don't get every single lash on that bottom layer, there will be a pretty big contrast between Yzabelle's natural lash color and the green fans. For easy access to that bottom layer, I'm using the iPad isolation technique to pull back the rest of the lashes. I find that doing this technique is a huge time saver because I'm not sifting through the natural lashes trying to determine which ones sit on the middle layer or which ones sit on the bottom layer. By doing this, I don't have to put any thought into it. I can just follow my mapping, and I didn't even have to isolate each individual lash. So this hack was a huge time saver and made lashing so much easier. Lashing in layers is definitely key if you're applying one color from inner to outer corner. This helps with consistency and really compacts that color for a vibrant result. But of course, there's no rules when it comes to color. You don't have to work in layers, and you can apply your lashes on the inner corner only or the outer corner. You can add colored spikes. It's totally up to you and your vision. I definitely recommend making a plan ahead of time so that you know what your vision is before jumping into the service. Creating this map before she came in was super helpful for cutting back service time because I didn't have to stress about coming up with a plan while she was laying there. I just pulled up my mapping and I was ready to go. For my green lashes, I'm working mostly with 3, 4, and 5D. I really want to be cautious with my weight here because if I go too heavy, then the lashes will weigh down and obstruct her vision. So I'm only applying 5D on those really strong natural lashes. As you can see, Yzabelle's lashes are naturally super dark. So if I were to place my extension on top of the natural lash, you would still be able to see her dark natural lash color. So to make the green pop and kind of hide that darker color, I'm gonna place my extensions underneath the natural lash instead. For glue today, I'm working with my favorite, and that is Invisibond. I love it because it's about a 3-second cure time, which works great for me. It also has less cyanoacrylate, making it a great option for sensitive clients. And I always have really good retention with it. But today it is serving a whole other purpose, and that is the fact that it has no black carbon. So it's a great option for any colored service, as it won't change the color of the base. When working with any handmade volume set, I always have glue gun nearby just in case I get a little bit of glue on my tweezer, or if my fan sticks to the tweezer tips when trying to place an extension. This product works wonders in literally 10 seconds. And this may sound kind of funny, but you want to grip the pink balls with your tweezers, and this will remove the glue residue so you can get back to lashing. Also, for my tweezers today, I'm using our Gold Member L Curve Volume Tweezer. Fanning off the strip is a dream when working with this tweezer because it has a fine tip and a very large sweet spot. And for my isolation tweezer, I am using my favorite Sunset Ultra. I really love the curvature of it because it really helps when working around features such as the brow bone. So now that I've completed the bottom layer, I'm going to isolate the top layer only and begin building the shape. As I mentioned earlier, I am using our mid-stem pre-fans in 10 and 12D to add some drama to the set. We won't get enough darkness from only applying it to the top layer, so once I complete that, I finish the set by filling in the middle layer 1 millimeter shorter. Now that I'm all done my set, I'm going to seal the deal using our super bonder as always to cure the glue, add flexibility to the bond, and make the lashes oil resistant. I never skip this step because I know that if I do, those lashes will not last as long as they would have if I'd used it. So there you have it. This is the final result. The Grinch vibes are real, you guys. I'm obsessed with how this came out. But I did make a couple notes for what I would like to change for next time. And that is, I would have crystallized my fans in advance to save a little bit more time and so I can focus a little bit more on symmetry. I also would have stuck with only one curl. So rather than doing only CC on the bottom and C on the middle and top, I would have used all CC because I found that the green lashes didn't blend very well with the rest of the set. But that's totally fine. It's definitely something to take in consideration for next time. I loved creating this holiday set because it was such a great opportunity to push myself out of my comfort zone and play with color. Also, if you created any holiday inspired lash sets, feel free to tag us on Instagram at @LostArtistryLash. We would love to see it. I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I did creating it. Thanks so much for watching.